Welcome to chat. Oh.
So welcome. Thank you. Welcome to the chat.
Hello, everybody.
Don't worry. Who needs a ring light when you have the front page of Kotaku?
Hey.
It's bright.
That's one way of doing it. I can't do that. I have to have dark mode everything. Welcome everybody to episode 10 of the Hobo Slayers podcast.
We made it to the double digits.
Yep. I am as always PallasStreams. I have with me today DanzikStreams. And,
back.
Raz, you took a drink. And NikUncut.
Thanks.
I feel like the odd man out not having streams in my name, so
I only have
streams
streams because I can't get Pallas.
that's fair.
To get Pallas, I would have to either the person who owns Pallas would have to not log in or view a stream for a year, or I would have to apply for trademark for the name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, once I get trademark, I could get it from Twitch, but
Or we can just kidnap this guy and keep him restrained for a year.
All right, hear me out.
Yeah.
This is a terrible idea.
I didn't say it was a good idea. I'm just saying it was an idea.
oh man, I feel like we're already back in D&D.
This is I'm just gonna take a step back. I'm just gonna.
No, because I'm thinking back to the first, because we were talking about D&D Mangoes. I'm thinking back to the first episode of the podcast, and all it was in my head is Dan's going, so where's the alcohol? I'm thinking, oh no.
The answer is on my desk.
Like I was saying before we started here, it's been fun to really watch that because, like, you know, I listen to it on my way to work, and yeah, I listen to a lot of D&D podcasts and shows, and just podcasts in general. I listen to a lot, but I can name 2 shows that have ever made me almost like pull over because I'm laughing so hard. And I could probably say that you guys have made me pull over because I'm laughing so hard that I'm like, I'm gonna kill someone. I need to pull over. Like,
Yeah, victorious.
I'm just cackling. He's got Kevin in the chat here. He's got a decent plan though.
That is true. He's always got a decent plan. We just may not know it at the time.
I'm always thinking 20 steps ahead with every character in every scenario. I have to start calculating, okay, what is this happening? What is the DM going to throw in that's going to mess up my thought process, and how can I react to it quickly?
See,
you don't understand that his headset is actually Cerebro, so...
Yeah.
See, I don't think like that in D&D. I think more about how can we best... I don't think about what the DM's thinking. I think more about the situation at hand and... what can we do to accomplish our task without going completely off the rails?
I blame my completionist mindset because it's very much I need to start strategizing and getting a game plan going every time. Because if I don't, I'm going to get caught flat-footed, and then my character might die or my allies might die, and that's not fun. And I try to avoid character rerolls, even though I have 2 characters ready to go as backup. Just on principle.
I don't. Everybody keeps saying how characters are back. I've yet to do that. I need to do that.
See, I end up, like, obviously it's been a little bit since I played D&D, but like I always end up becoming the vacation dad, where I'm like, all right, here's what we're going. We're doing this, and they're like, I want to go punch someone, and I'm like, no, we have to get back. We have to do this. And then I'm left cleaning up the mess.
What was I drunk or just I can't remember. What innocent bystander did I kill, Sniper?
So about to.
I don't remember killing any innocent bystanders.
I don't remember you doing that either.
I'm confused, but I will watch. The Brewmaster.
What do you mean I killed him?
Oh, gotcha.
I don't know if you killed him.
He's
exactly,
alive,
but...
isn't he? I revived him, and now we're calling up the contracts to sell the brew.
Oh, so good. He did technically die.
Him. Like, yeah, but so have you. You've technically died a few times. You're still alive.
Now, I will say that, because Rolfnet brought up, back at that's a good idea. I'm saying that I should make backup characters because if you remember, sorry Nick, slight spoiler
Please.
here, but I got to the point of in the last episode where I had 2 failed death saves.
Oh man.
So I was one away from rolling a new character.
You were about, didn't you? You rolled, you went down, you rolled a nat 20, got back up to 1 HP, went down again, then rolled a nat 1 immediately for 2 death saves. Like,
Why does this sound like the most Destiny raping I've ever heard? Like,
yeah. See, I just have Mimi backup characters though. I don't have like, oh, I'm gonna be Artorio, this lord from another land that was laid waste, and now I'm trying to reclaim my home. No, I have HK47 from Knights of the Old Republic and Dimitri Blatted from Fire Emblem Three Houses. Just ready to go. Which Dimitri's the one doing in my friend's one shot, and he's the one who was level 5 and beat a level 20.
I mean, my character is before the multi-classing, I basically had a female Aragorn.
It's true.
Interesting.
I want to try and set up more stuff in the campaign to get your character to really shine and step out as well, because I feel like I just naturally start overpowering a situation, I'm thinking ahead, and I feel bad about that.
Okay. I'm staying quiet on that one. Okay.
I mean, I'm not wrong. I'm definitely just like, I'll do this, and I'm taking people's thunder, and now I feel bad. I'm just like,
all right, hear me out. I'm outside of this group.
That's
what
fine.
It sounds like we need is a filler episode. So how about you all go to the beach?
Vice is in charge of.
Or how about you guys go to get your driver's license?
Good, nice DBZ episode. Gotcha.
Don't worry, it's the only one I've seen. Actually, no, I've seen other episodes. I'm not about that series, but let's see.
You have kept us alive with your healing, so I'm very appreciative of you, Mr. Bard.
Filler episode. We need a fan service episode. I mean, look, as one of the fans, I will gladly take a fan episode.
And we have female Aragorn and Vice going on here, so.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You did, in fact, yeet a mofo into another mofo, so I can't.
These are all accurate statements.
We've all had our moments so far, but I feel like I just overshadow some people. Like, I'm not doing it intentionally. I just go, oh, I can do this. And then I go, oh, wait.
Oh, no, I didn't mean that in the sense of, like, doing it intentionally. It's just, my character's kind of interesting because it's like, I'm a noble, but, like, not a noble of the sense that I understood it. So it's like, me trying to figure out what my character can do has been the challenge.
Yeah. It's definitely a challenging thing, especially because your character is so dependent on world building and like the world around you, while Vice is actually just a far traveler. She left her home country way far away to go on a search for knowledge and blah, blah, blah. And so she can just kind of be like, oh yeah, I can really just go with anything that I'm presented with.
Yep. So it's interesting. So for that topic,
I was about to say, who wants to steer this runaway train into the side of a mountain? Let's go.
No, I was gonna transition it. So, we've had D&D going on, of course. But beyond that, what else have you two been up to?
I think Nick's got the biggest news. He finally has his computer up and running.
Yeah, you know what? I'll jump right into it. I have a working PC again, finally, guys. It's been it's weird, you know, like there's I've taken time before away from streaming. I've taken a couple weeks off here and there, but actively not being able to do it when you really want to is something I've never had until now. Like, I have genuinely missed it. I miss talking to people, you know. But let me tell you about the road to this new PC, because, you know, it wouldn't be interesting if there wasn't a good story behind it. So I decided I was gonna go all out. You know what? Actually, I had some money set aside for it. Let's go ahead and put it into a new PC. So about a month and a half ago, I got all the parts in physically. I had them all there. The first motherboard that I got On mine, it does that 3 light check where it does the DRAM, it does the CPU. It shows you what it's doing before it gets to the BIOS. And it was permanently stuck on the DRAM light. So I was like, okay, this doesn't work. So I send it off. They send me a new one. Well, actually, no, it was. At first, I thought it was the RAM I had, so I got new RAM. I put it in, and then it was revealed it was that DRAM issue. So I'm sitting here with new RAM. I send back the first motherboard. I get the second, and just it's not. The RGB on it works fine, but it's not wanting to post. So I got some help from one of the great folks in our Discord, the Bearded Bee, who was nice enough to. At first, he actually offered to come out to where I am, which was amazing. And then this little pandemic thing, I don't know what it is, but that whole thing happened. And he was like, how about we just we video call? And yeah, after a lot of majiggering, we found out it just wouldn't post. So I go for my third motherboard. And motherboard 3 is the reason I'm here right now, because good God. Like, I can't. 3 motherboards. I think I'm cursed. Like,
I mean, when I bought this, or when I started building this streaming computer that I'm using now, it was the motherboard that I got. It came in dead on arrival, so it wouldn't work. It wouldn't power on. It wouldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything with it. And we thought it was the processor, and we looked at the processor pins, and apparently the motherboard had been, I don't know, tampered with or maybe damaged in transit, because the pins for the processor were bent. Like some of them were barely bent, so it wouldn't line up and the processor wouldn't work. So there was a lot of going back and forth. This is the processors and the motherboard. What do I need to replace? Who do I need to call? And luckily, I only had to go through one replacement of the motherboard before I got everything kind of up and running. But the only issue I'm having now is that I can't get my stream program to run off on my graphics card processor. It has to run on my motherboard processor, and that's killing my memory. And so my streams, like if I stream anything on the PC, I'm up to 100%. Like I'm bouncing 98 to 100.
Ooh.
Yeah. And every time I try to run it, it says like, so I try to switch it over there and it's like, it doesn't work. You need to update your drivers. And I've done a clean, fresh install of all the drivers for NVIDIA, and it still says you need new drivers too, and install drivers. I'm just about to like dropkick, and it's a new graphics card. It's a GeForce NVIDIA 2070. There's no reason why an NVENC shouldn't work on it right now, because it should have it. It should work, but it just refuses to. So now I've got to try and get in contact with NVIDIA and be like, hey, help me troubleshoot what's going on with this.
Right. Huh.
Computers
yeah,
suck.
But outside of that, I will say, outside of all my PC things, I've been, I've been working a lot, like quite a lot actually. Surprise, I'm still watching a lot of movies, and then this little thing called Animal Crossing came out. So,
speaking of, I need to go check in for the day.
I don't know what you're
this
talking about.
is my first Animal Crossing I've fully gotten into.
Mm-hmm.
Because I picked up New Leaf and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna go back to playing Kid Icarus because that's all I played on my 3DS. This game rules, man. I don't know how to talk about it really.
I've found I've never played any Animal Crossing until now. This game, sorry about that. This game is, I streamed it on day one along with a lot of other people, and it quickly realized just like this game isn't like Stardew Valley. It's not, because I like Stardew Valley, I like Rune Factory, and Harvest Moon. Those were the games that I played that were farming simulator / life simulator esque, and they're on their own day and night cycle. And having Animal Crossing running off simultaneous to actual day and night cycles is like, this really slows down the progress of what I can do in this game. And usually that's a bad thing for me, because I like to complete, I like to play, and I like to, I like progression and keep progressing. I don't like having something limit my progression in a game. But the opposite effect happened, and now I'm just like, I just pop on 3 hours a day while I'm working from home, and I go and catch bugs. I go take care of whatever Tom Nook has for me for the day. go talk to some villagers, catch some beetles, drop it off the blathers, and I'm done with the day. And it's peaceful, and it's a lot of fun.
It's weird for me to find out that like a lot of my friends, this is really our first like endeavor into this game. And man, it's the game I needed right now, really. Like,
and there's so many people out there who are actual addicts for this game, and I'm happy for them because they finally got the game they've been wanting. But like, people were like, I'm on this game for 12 hours a day, and I'm like, I could never imagine that.
I put in like 15 minutes after work because that's all I had because I had to get up the next day.
I'll get the 2 hours like in between while I'm working, 2 to 3 hours at most. Just like, okay, I got to go and collect things, make furniture for new people to come live on my island.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and for you people who do play Animal Crossing and we're using the duplication glitch, that got patched out the other day. So have fun with that.
I did hear that.
That went out quick.
Why does that not surprise me?
The first time I saw the duplication glitch was the day of the patch they put out, and I was like, "Hey, this duplication glitch." I'm like, "Really? Does this work?" And then I was like, "I'm kind of curious. Maybe I want to try it just to see how it works with like 1,000 bells." So I get on, and then it says, "Would you like to update?" And I was like, no, I don't want to update. I know what this is. And I go through it, and it's like, well, now I have to make a second profile, log them in to make them a second page to make the glitch work. And as soon as I logged out to get the second profile, it patched itself anyway. And I was like, no.
Not even like, I guess I'll have to adjust. Like, okay, how do I subvert them again?
Hey, Tide Pod.
I was about to say, Tide Pod Jesus says hello.
Welcome. How about you, Pallas? How have you been? You picked up Animal Crossing, didn't you?
Nope.
Really?
Oh, he's completely off. He's not even on the island train here.
I had no idea what y'all were talking about for any of this.
What about you, man?
I've been in Division 2.
Fair enough. How's that? So like you not playing Animal Crossing and not knowing. I know nothing about Division. So please regale me with this game.
So yes, Sniper Eye 2010's with me. He's been playing Division as well. I need to get back on Xbox and play it more. I wish they would make crossplay for that. That would be so awesome. Yeah. So Division 2. The funny thing is, it is kind of a very what's the phrase I'm looking for here? It hits home.
Relevant.
Yeah, it's very relevant because in the game, with Division 1, a group of terrorists, I guess you could say, launch a bioweapon on New York. And everything goes to crap. And so it gets to the point where they have to institute was it something 51? Sniper, I wouldn't know it here.
I will be honest with you. I've played Division 1 and 2 and I've completed them. I know nothing about that story.
My lore is horrible, I'll say it right now. So there's basically this law in effect, something 51. Directive 51, thank you, Sniper Eye. And so it's a modified version of smallpox. And so everything like there's looting, there's New York is in shambles, everything else. So they institute Directive 51, which brings in the Division. And so if you are a person, a citizen that has to, basically sleeper agents. So they've been trained and whatever else. And they have these shade watches, which when it activates, they have to leave their family, leave their home, and go and basically they're activated and they have to go and bring order to all the chaos in New York. And Division 2 continues that story into DC. But it is very relatable to what's happening right now because everybody's like, they're trying to keep to themselves, stay alive, and just survive.
Social distancing, guys.
Yeah, there's social distancing in the game. There's people are they're fending for themselves, trying to help the greater community while keeping the community they're a part of alive. Um, Things like that, and so it's very relatable to what's going on now. Yeah, it's
As a sleeper agent myself, I can relate very much.
You've been having those dreams at night, just waiting, words repeating in your head. Shark, indigo, tank top, fire truck. Oh God, activated.
yeah, complete breakdown of government law and order is the worst case scenario. It very much is. So I've been playing that a lot lately. So, and they just come out right before. I guess it was beginning of March, I believe. They released the Warlords of New York update, and so that takes it back to New York and continues the story. And they introduced seasons, so kind of like a battle pass type thing.
Gotcha.
And so, and the battle pass continues the story every 12 weeks.
Apparently, I'm part of the American Ultra project. We promised to keep that a secret, but you know.
Congratulations. I have no idea what that is. So
I don't know either, so we'll move on.
I'll say one other thing. I've been playing also. You know, I got my new PC up right away, and I'm like, man, I gotta figure out something to play. And you know what? I gotta play a game that's relevant to now. Okay, and not just Siege. Of course I played Siege right away. My second thing, though, something very relevant and very relatable, Doom.
How is that relatable to now?
Well, you know, the
world is in hell.
The hellscape on Earth, you know.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. That part of it.
Yes, the fact that it is literal hell on Earth.
Worst case scenario of COVID-19.
Gotcha.
Yes, so I've been playing. I played a couple hours of it because I didn't have a lot of time for it. But I had this weird moment where I boot up the game and it pops up. You know, what difficulty do you want? And I'm like, you know, I'll play on the hard mode. Not like if there's an easy, medium, hard, and very hard. I'll play on hard. And I'm like, I'm big into Doom. I love it. It's one of my favorite series. I'll start with the hard mode, right? About 30 minutes into that game, I had to drop it down to normal like right away because that game is tough, man. I am kind of baffled by it.
Really?
That game is punishing. I'm kind of at a loss. I'm like, man, it's been weird to have a game that actually kicks me in the face like this.
See, like, hard games excite me. I love challenging games, so that makes me want to pick it up, but I can't because of my finances right now. And honestly, come Tuesday, I'm not gonna have the time for much anything.
Oh God!
Because for me,
what's up? What's Tuesday?
Persona 5 Royals is when that drops.
Oh no!
And for anyone who's played Persona 5, the base story, my first playthrough and most people's first playthroughs is an 80-hour experience. This is a remaster, like, an extra content. So we're expecting this game to be about 100 hours for one base story. Now, the problem with this is it comes out the 31st, so Tuesday. And approximately 10 days later, on April 10th, is Final Fantasy VII Remake. So I have to beat 100 hours of a JRPG in 10 days, all on stream.
Are you taking the week off?
I can't do that.
I was about to say, I did a little bit of math here, and how about you just do one 4-ish day stream and just burn through it?
Yeah, I wake up in the morning at 6:15. I roll over, like, I shower, do what I need, clock in at 6:30 in the morning, and I'm off work at 3:30. So that gives me 30 minutes to set up for stream, and I've streamed 6 hours a day from 4 to 10 p.m.
Oh no.
And that'll give me enough time to do anything extra, go to sleep by midnight or 1 in the morning, wake up after 5 hours of sleep, and go to work. And this will be my life until Final Fantasy VII Remake drops, which I do have that Friday off when the game comes out. So that's nice. But It is going to be just rinse, repeat. I'm going to be a zombie, and then the game's while Final Fantasy VII drops. That's going to be another month of just 100% completion because I've already told myself that's already, everyone knows that if you're looking at my channel, that's all my content is going to be for the next month is going to be this game. So I would love to play Doom, and I'll have D&D, of course. I'll have the D&D obligations, so those will happen. But like otherwise, straight Final Fantasy VII at all times.
So I can relate to that. So just for reference here, Division 2 released February 7th, 2019. On I closed it out. I think it was March 17th. I tweeted out. I happened to notice it that I'd hit 202 hours on Division 2.
Wow.
And that was I played until like June, from February to June last year, and then I stopped, and then didn't pick it up until about mid-February this year. So I had about 9 months off. So 202 hours is when I tweeted out on the 17th of March. So 11 days ago, I'm at 272.
What?
Wow. Cranked. That just
I mean,
so 11 days ago, I've already got 72 hours of that 80 you're talking about.
You know, as someone who also has 4-digit hours in a Tom Clancy game, look.
Yeah, wait, that's a good question. So obviously, Steve, for you, it's Siege. You have the most hours probably in Siege, right?
That's
Pallas. What game would you say you have the most hours?
1 second, I can tell you.
Oh no!
I'll tell you what. For me, it was like I have put 550, close to 600 hours into Fire Emblem. I
was gonna guess Fire Emblem,
but no. The answer to that question for me is Final Fantasy 14, and I'm looking at my play time of 3,426 hours in that MMO.
Okay, so I don't know the total number. I have 377 hours in Skyrim on PC. I've also played it on Xbox. Now, if you look at my Xbox, I would have Skyrim is not it. Not in a long shot. Probably, if I had to guess, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I almost 100% in that game.
Huh. Don't forget RE3 Remake Friday. Yeah, it is this Friday. But
so maybe, real quick, maybe add to that. I almost 100% that game 3 times.
Huh?
I'll say that I 100% Skyrim on the Xbox as well when it had come out. And by 100%, I mean I did all the achievements and like the major quest lines and things like that. And man, like that's as far as I'm with Skyrim, I could never go back and do that again. I played maybe like an extra 30 hours of Skyrim total on the PC just because I wanted to play around with mods, and then like was done with it.
Oh no! So on PC, 300 hours. 200 of that was a single summer. I worked for the school district, and I was off on Fridays in the summer. So I'd come home from work, play it. And on Fridays, I'd have all Friday to play it. So I had 200 hours that summer. I beat the game, and then I went back and started another playthrough again on mods. That's where the 300 hours on PC came from.
Let's see. I'm trying to get my exact hours for Siege here because this game's been out for 3-ish years now, and
I'm trying to see if I can pull up my Xbox.
Let's see.
Actually,
because I started on the Xbox and then I moved to the PC because I was really just into the competitive. And let's see if it'll actually let me show it here. I can't.
I didn't do it for the competitive. I did it for because that's all I had at the time. I couldn't afford a PC at the time, so.
Right. Well, I started on the Xbox. Yeah, that's what I had, and then eventually I was like, you know what? Maybe I watch a lot of the Pro League and stuff like that, but maybe I should try the PC out. And then, I think I've surpassed myself already on that. Like, I'm not proud of the things I've done.
I had an afterthought, like maybe it isn't Final Fantasy 14. only other game I can played that much is League of Legends back in the day before I started getting tired of it. So I looked that up, and thankfully it's only 613 hours in League of Legends over like a 4-year period before I started playing it. Yeah, and then I decided, wait a minute, that's time played in League of Legends isn't the issue. It's how much money have I spent on League of Legends?
Oh no.
And that grand total right now is currently $1,585. And mind you, I haven't put a penny into League in the past 3 years.
Nick,
I
how
just
much?
don't.
Sorry.
Company. No, worries, go ahead.
I just want to ask before I forget.
Okay.
Nick, quick question: how much time do you have in Siege?
So I just did some numbers across the Xbox and the PC. I am about, if my math here is right, I'm somewhere around 1,800 hours.
Okay.
Into a competitive shooter. Like,
I have 182 hours on Xbox.
Okay.
And on PC. Oh, you play. I need to pull up you play. That's what I need to do.
Yeah, it's just going between those. Like, it's weird to have a game where I'm like, the last game I did this with was Destiny, the very first one. So, and wow, I didn't think I'd be playing this more than I did that game. Like,
426 hours in an MMO. Just slamming my head against the wall on that one.
Doing your fools.
Yikes.
Oh, that's a yikes from me, dog. That's just
I will say that with everyone's game times and that, it just makes me kind of hope that I kind of do later after because I wanted an idea for like a stream series or a video series would be like me, a total noob playing popular games he's never touched before. So I'd be like, hey Nick, I'm gonna play Siege. Come teach this noob how to play a game.
Oh god.
I'd be like, hop on Division and be like, Pallas, I'm gonna squad with you in Division. Bring this level 1 idiot into the game and then watch me be terrible.
That's fine. We can do that.
Well, the funny thing is, Division actually like has a great system of getting people into the game.
Well, not only that, it scales well.
It to death, but it will kick you in the face and just.
Well, it's improved on it though, because what they've done with the latest updates is scaling is a whole lot better. So if you come in at level 1, once you get to the point where you can join a group, if I join you at my level, it would scale you up to level 29, and all the enemies would be the same level as both of us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so
it'll
it ends
scale
up
to
being
the highest player.
Right. And so what ends up being is, yes, you're level 1, scale up to 29, but if you go look at your profile, it'll say you're level 1. But you're doing the damage of a level 29 so that you can compete or be able to play with me.
So it's kind of like reverse Borderlands 3.
Exactly.
Where it levels you down or it sinks you. Okay, that at least makes it kind of bearable. I will say right now, though, as far as shooters are concerned, dig in Warzone.
I have not played that yet.
I'm going to play it finally, because when it first came out, it
PC
melted basically by PC. Yeah. So I'm excited to play it finally. I can't wait to get past that tutorial, man.
I got stuck on the tutorial. It was like, you need to press the 5 key on your mouse to go ahead and mount the thing. And it was like, no, the button doesn't work. Let me continue. I don't care about mounting my gun on a... It's like, you're going to be here. I was there for an hour, like, going through key bindings. I thought the tutorial took me an hour just because I spent 40 minutes of it on key bindings and things not working. So I finally got through it, and they let me play my first game. And I got to say, just out of... Like, I was done with Battle Royale games. I loved PUBG for a while. I don't like Fortnite. It just did not have, like, the kind of game mechanics that I enjoyed. Apex was... it's still, to me, it's still it's kind of fun to hop on with people and play, but otherwise
I think we've had some fun with Apex. I don't.
We've had fun. I'm not saying we haven't had fun. I'm not saying it's a lot of fun.
Ask my bank account, because
oh boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm not a fan of... I'm a JRPG player mostly. I like RPGs. I like that kind of stuff. But man, it feels good having a working ballistic system in Warzone. Looking at you, Counter-Strike Go.
Ooh, I feel like there's some blood there.
There's some salt and blood on that. Any game where I can shoot up and and it counts as a headshot across the map when I shot straight. That game's broken. It's garbage, and I hate Counter-Strike. I'll die on this hill.
Oh no! Oh no! No! No!
Fix your ballistics, Valve.
I think they're focused on other things right now. They're busy. They're busy trying to make me spend, $500 on a headset. So, all because I need closure.
Oh man, I wish I could talk about this other thing about the VR thing, but unfortunately I can't. Just like I backed a game that's a project that's coming out on virtual reality, and it's going to be cross-platform to PC, so you don't have to have the VR headset, and it is an MMO, and it looks amazing, and it's a small team of people working on it, and it's going great, but I can't really like talk about it.
Right.
I'm on like alpha backers, and I'm actually now they're doing a lot of pre-alpha server testing right now.
Hmm.
That I'm really excited for when this game actually comes out. It probably won't be too, but it's really ambitious, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with me actually saying the name of the game is called Zenith Mmo or Zenith VR MMO.
I read that someone mentioned that on Reddit the other day. I don't know what it was.
It's it's gonna be like and when they put the Kickstarter page, they're advertising like we want to make like a Sword Art Online / Final Fantasy 14 designed world in VR and have players play this and like get people into it. So it's actually like a grand scale, highly emotive, highly customizable virtual world. So really looking forward to when that comes out. But I haven't even really touched my VR system until that pre-alpha started coming out. I just don't have many games that I want to play other than Beat Saber.
I mean, it is a killer app for a reason. Like it's quite good.
There's apparently like a rhythm Beat Saber type game, but it's actually with guns, and you're kind of like on a track, and you're going through these complexes shooting people to the rhythm.
Huh.
It looked really fun. That
actually sounds kind of cool.
It's pretty cool.
Let's see.
Sorry, I'm still just going through mine trying to figure out if that's even the correct game. That's the longest I played.
Oh no.
I'm going through the Xbox stuff thinking,
So what are your contenders right now? Because I actually really want to hear what your contenders are.
We've got the Division and Skyrim. They're like some good ones, but
let me add to the Skyrim thing here. So I just pulled up Skyrim on Special Editions what I had on Xbox. That one is
I would do a drum roll
on Xbox. Plus the 300 something on PC.
Okay.
So I've got about 600 hours in Skyrim.
Jeez.
Technically more time than I have in Fire Emblem. Bravo.
And then Division on Xbox. This is Xbox, not PC. That's 12. 156 on Xbox, which is what I played on. That's beating the game, but not doing almost none of the DLC. I got so much content I can go back and play on the original Division.
Oh boy.
And then of course all the 200 something hours of Division 2. What's interesting is when I go back and look at Assassin's Creed 4, it just don't show me the hours. Like it tells me nothing. It just tells me the achievements. It don't tell me how many hours I have in the game. So I have no idea how much is in that.
So I completely forgot, like the Halo Master Chief Collection released Halo CE.
Oh no!
Oh, I haven't even looked at Halo yet.
Because if there was a game that I sank all my hours into growing up, it had to have been Halo 3. on
Mine was
360.
Reach.
Yeah, Reach eventually bled over once the hype for Halo 3 went down. But 3 and ODST, I was a Halo kid so hard, like just back in the day. I played a little bit of Call of Duty, a little bit of Modern Warfare, but I would just go immediately back to Halo.
Yeah.
I still need to go back and do the campaign on Legendary by myself.
I'm looking at this here. I was trying to think about like what's the, not in terms of time, but what's the game that you've beaten the most? You know, the one that you've played through like the most.
Oh.
Because I was thinking about it, and it thankfully reading the chat reminded me, because Halo was one of my favorite series, but I just didn't have an Xbox for a long time. What I did have though was Resident Evil 4, and I was looking at how long. You know, I didn't know about speedrunning for a long time, but I just would get bored on a Friday night, and I would just beat Resident Evil 4, like, in a couple sittings. Because, so the cool thing is the game will show you how many, like, times you've beaten it on your save file. And I think somewhere in this closet over here is a PS2 memory card that says, I think I've played through Resident Evil 4 about 23 times.
Dang.
I don't know what it is about that game.
I'm not a big replayer. I don't like playing through. It was when I beat a game, I'm like, that was a satisfying experience. I really don't like going back and replaying it again.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there are some games like that, like Fire Emblem Three Houses. I'm on my 9th consecutive playthrough, like New Game Plus. Like I've gone through all the games with each. I've gone through all 4 storylines. Once with each gender, and I'm doing extra ones because they released the expansion, so I gotta do it like another 3 more times because I love that game.
Night.
But if I had to choose like like we're talking about like playing through like a story over and over again, it may be Halo Reach now, because there was a time when it came out, I was speedrunning that game so I can get it under 3 hours to get the achievement, and then ran other people through it.
Me.
Yeah, Pallas, and I think Bearded Bee and a few other people. I can't remember who else, but yeah, technically I still can run that campaign and under Legendary on 3 hours by myself or with other people. And so now I've been at like maybe like no, I know what game it is. Now that I have to really think back on this one. It was not Halo, because maybe I've beaten Reach maybe about like 20 something times. It's Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
Really?
Because I grew up in a family that did not like video games. Like, no, this is on your brain. You should go outside and play, read a book, do other stuff. Mom was much of a book reader. And what games I did have, I would play very thoroughly. And I wouldn't consider Melee a game you go and beat repeatedly, like Super Smash Bros. Melee. I wouldn't consider like Super Mario Sunshine was fun. Things like the GameCube was huge for me. Say it was in 64. I know I beat Ocarina of Time plenty of times, Majora's Mask and other Zelda games. But for me, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, I would literally just start like speedrunning before I knew what speedrunning was. Both storylines, and just keep going through the game and collect rings and collect animals and raise chows. And I think I put more hours into that game than any other game in existence, but I just can't prove it because I don't have the GameCube. I don't have a memory card for it. But
I mean that's kind of like my whole Assassin's Creed 4. I can't prove that was the most hours I have in it because anything that's before Xbox One will not show the number of hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly what you were saying with Sonic. Like, that's what I did with Resident Evil. I'd get home from school and I'm like, well, I got nothing to do this weekend or friends to hang out with. Guess I'll beat Resident Evil 4 in like 6 hours, because at some point I had everything. I knew what, you know what to do. And I was just like, I guess I'll just try to get faster and faster with it. And then suddenly I was like, what's speedrunning?
Mine was Halo. We weren't trying to speedrun it, but it was. I was at UAH and had some friends in the dorm with me. We were in different dorms, but I'd go to their dorm, and we would go to the common area for their floor, and we'd have the whole common area to ourselves. Big, like 60-inch TV, take in the my Xbox, and we'd throw in one of the Halos. Like, all right, which Halo we want to do this week? We'd start about 6 p.m., go to about daylight the next morning, just playing through it. If we finish it, we would start over again, the same one, and we wouldn't do the same one. We'd go to a different one, and then just try to get as far as we can until daylight came. So we'd go about 12 hours. We did that every week. We'd pick a different one, get through it, and then start another one until it hit daylight. And we just kept picking through all the. At the time, it was I think 1 through 3 or 4. I think it was 1 through 3, and then Reach, or maybe I guess 4 was at the time. But yeah, it was just go through those games. So we did that for 2 semesters.
Jeez.
So
Man,
Halo, the Halos or series is the ones I've done the most. And we wouldn't speedrun it. It was just we enjoyed the game, we enjoyed playing, so we would go through play the campaign.
I can remember, and I was thinking about this, like, Halo was the game that everyone has the story. They put their Xbox in their backpack and they walk to their friend's house and they, did the system link. I always feel like you always hear those stories with it. But I can genuinely remember, again, growing up, I didn't have an Xbox. I had friends who did, so I was really good friends with them because Halo. But there was one day where he, I think it was his birthday or something, so he had a bunch of friends over, right? And without telling his dad, they had it was like a 3-story, so they had the basement, main floor, and the second floor. We drilled a hole in his floor so that we could run a system link cable. And we covered up. Don't worry, I don't know if they ever found out. Like, lifted up the carpet, we drilled a hole in the floor because we would have one team on the bottom floor and the second team on the top floor. So that way we could keep them separate and we wouldn't overhear their team chat. Like,
how did you keep that, quote unquote? They had to have known.
I mean, at some point we moved the carpet back over the hole because, like, we took a drill and we were just like, this looks like a big enough drill bit. Put this through and then run this massive system link cable. You remember how fat that cable was too?
Yeah.
Yeah, we drilled a hole in his floor just to play like multiplayer. Like,
that's about as epic as the old school meme of the dude who's duct taped to a
yes,
AC, like, tube playing at a LAN party. Like,
I remember just being like, it was the coolest thing in the world because, like, now now where I am in life, like, I'm a big fan of esports. I love competitive things like that. I'm thinking about it, like, that was my first taste of, like, we need to play as a team because the people upstairs are the enemy and blue team shall prevail. So
so you're one of them dirty blues.
I lived as few men dared to dream.
Yeah. See, I was kind of like you. I was not one of the people who had an Xbox growing up. I didn't have an Xbox till college. So my only experience was Halo. I was in Boy Scouts and I worked the summer camp, and we had there wasn't enough cabins for everybody, so I was in like a tent, whatever. But we'd go to the cabins at night after everybody was done with their work for the day, and they would have TV. They would bring their CRT TVs with them to the thing because the campers couldn't have it, but we could because we had power, and so we would from like, I don't know, 8 o'clock till midnight, we would set up CRTs inside, run the system link cables out through the window onto the little porch we had. It had 2 more TVs out there. So 2 TVs inside, 2 TVs outside. And there was bunk beds inside. So you had one TV on one. It was 2 sets of bunk beds. So you had a TV on the top bunk bed, TV on the bottom bunk bed, running outside into the 2 other TVs.
Oh my god, that just reminds me, like, when I was a kid, the closest thing I ever went to camping is we would set up a tent in the side of my yard, and I'd have like a friend or 2 over, and we would be in my side yard in a tent, and we would bring in like the smaller CRTV in there, run like a extension cable and like a power strip in there, and we would play like Time Splitters 2 on the GameCube together. Right. And that was the extent of camping for us.
Yep.
Those are good memories. And then I looked at Cyber. I'm a Halo OG, Combat Evolved all the way to 4. So here's a story of my experiences through the Halo games, and I want to preface before saying the story that yes, I'm not a good person. So
No.
Oh boy.
Every great story starts with, so I'm a terrible person, right?
So I grew up. My first console was Super Nintendo when I was a very, very like a newborn at 2, and I'd play like my Super Nintendo. And I actually this game, which was Yoshi's Island, when I was like 2 or 3 years old. Then it was N64, and I went from N64 to GameCube, and I stayed on the Nintendo line of things. Eventually, though, I had a friend, and he had an Xbox. His parents actually let him get video games, and he had Halo, and that was my first experience with it. And I played it just very briefly. Like, I want an Xbox with Halo. Mom said no. So the first time I got to play the first Halo, and I have played them all in order, is I was 11. I had a fear of needles, and I went to the doctor a lot because I was sick. The first time they had to draw blood for like a viral count,
no.
And I'm not exaggerating. There was 9 nurses and doctors trying to hold down an 11-year-old. And I had panicked so hard, I had bucked my feet down on like the little pull-out stool, and I pushed them up off me and against the wall and held them pinned. Like, just like complete berserker rage mode. And they're like, well, we can't struggle too hard because we'll hurt this kid. We really need to get blood, though. So my mom sat me down and was like, what is it going to take for you to just let them get some blood?
Oh, no.
And I looked her dead in the eyes, and I said, I want Halo for the PC. And she was like, this breaks everything. This is a rated M game, 11. But I was like, I'm not doing this. Now I don't care about needles, like whatever, because it's whatever, it's quick.
Right.
But they got me Halo, and I played it on the PC because I illegally downloaded the demo that was just Silent Cartographer.
Everyone had that demo.
Yeah, everyone had the demo.
You could only play on Blood Gulch.
Yeah, so I played the campaign. I was like, this is the greatest thing in my life. About a couple years later, I had finally started. I was starting to make money at 13. And the way I would do this is I liked Yu-Gi-Oh! And a lot of people like card games and Yu-Gi-Oh! Card games. So I would go to people playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I would watch them, and I would be like, hey, dude, what is this card? And they would show it to me, and then I would pretend I slip it back in their deck, and I would steal the card. And then a week later, I'd come back and resell them cards. So I was hustling Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards in middle school and making money. I'm sorry, everyone I did this to. But eventually I made enough after for a semester of school that I was able to sell some of my other games, and I bought an Xbox, and I bought Halo 1, replayed it, did Halo 2, finally played it. And I was like, this is Halo games. Yes, I finally got what I wanted. Eventually I got a PS2 with it because I was just raking the money. Because then I would like go further and I would build decks and then sell them the decks, then buy a starter deck, steal more cards, and then make a better deck and sell the decks to them.
Oh my God.
No, stop right. This is a normal thing. I mean,
hustling Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards is actually like,
it's lucrative, man. You can make money.
I know multiple people, including you now, that have done this.
I mean, I knew people in or like middle school who would hustle Pokemon cards.
And same with Magic cards.
That's any sort of card game, period.
Yeah.
It was Pokemon where I grew up. I didn't know anybody that did. A couple people did Yu-Gi-Oh! Most none of them did Magic. It was all Pokemon.
Yeah. So I mean, and then I was a junior in high school. When I was a junior in high school. I was a sophomore. My cousin got a 360. Bugged my parents enough to eventually, with Christmas in my junior year, they got me a first game technically was Kung Fu Panda because it came with a console. It was like, this is
what
dumb.
was that bundle? It came with that, and what was the other game?
I couldn't.
Was it a Lego game or something?
I think it was like Lego Star Wars or Lego Indiana. It was like an Indiana Jones.
I know that exact bundle because like I know so many people who had that bundle. Like
yeah, that was my Christmas bundle that I got, and then eventually I and I also bought Halo 3 and a year of X, and that started my online, like this was my first like foray into online play, online communities, making friends, talking to people, and God, it was nothing but just Halo from there. Halo 3, Halo ODST to Reach, and then eventually the Xbox One came out. and I got Halo 4, and then I just played the story once and then never really played it. Destiny had started coming out. I played that for a little bit and got bored of it. But by the time the 360 ended, I was into PC gaming. Like
Right.
primarily. League of Legends was the big one, and then started building up my Steam library and playing MMOs, and God, my Steam library of 300 games. But now that the Halo Master Chief Collection is finally out, like I still have yet to play Halo 5. That is the one Halo game I've yet to play, and now there's Halo Infinite that's coming out eventually.
We'll see if it comes out. We'll
I was just
see.
about to say, I don't know if it's going to come out this year the way things are going.
Yeah, no, I doubt
mean,
it'll be this year. I probably won't even be next year, but like eventually, it's probably going to come out on the Xbox Series X, probably.
I mean,
it's
we dare not speak about. I don't know, man. I got to play the story.
Halo. So weird thing about Halo 5. At the time I was running. I used to run a game news and review and podcast thing. My friend and I used to run a little show, and we would do reviews, and we would do a podcast and all that good stuff. And I argued with him so hard to be the guy who was going to review Halo 5. I was like, you don't understand. Halo 5 is, Halo is near and dear to my heart. I really need to play this game. And man, I've never been more torn on a game, because on one hand, the campaign is incredibly just disappointing. It's visually it's stunning, but it's very disappointing. But man, that multiplayer, it's so bizarre to be like, yeah, no, campaign's bad, but multiplayer,
I watched like a history video because I like Halo lore. I like especially Halo lore. It's pretty in depth. But I was watching like Halo lore videos, and I went over to like the history of the weapons, and I was watching a history of the Magnum. How it was so good in Halo 1. And apparently from what he had said, the Halo 5 Magnum was the closest to having like a powerhouse Magnum from Halo 1.
Yeah. Halo 5 was cool. Like as much as I did not like the campaign, the multiplayer is really solid for it. It's weird. I was thinking about, what was my path to Halo, and really through gaming, because I realized we're all kind of talking about how we've gone through gaming. I always grew up with I'll say a step behind. When people had the 360, I had the Xbox. When people had the PS3, I had the PS2. I
was definitely the same way.
My parents, and this, thinking back on it now, my parents did something cool, which was, when I was like probably 7 or whatnot, they got me a Game Boy. And at this point, they were like, you know what? If he likes games, we'll work you through it. And I was like, what does that mean? So they went to a garage sale and bought me an NES with like 20 games. They're like, if you like these, we'll start inching you up here. And then, by the time 360 was out, I wanted it. I played Halo through my friends. I never got to own Halo. And then right around, they were the kind of folks who said, hey, if you want something like that, you need, you're going to pay for it, So, if you're going to go for it, we'll gladly let you buy whatever, but you're paying for it. It took me 2 years to save for that 360. And by then, Reach had finally come out. So Reach was like my game. It was my first, this is my copy of Halo, and not just, I'm going to play it while my friend sleeps because I can pretend it's mine. Let's see. Just reading this here real quick. And then from there, 360 to the 1, and then, you taste a little bit of that PC water, and
don't want to give it up, man.
No, especially as someone who was down a PC for almost let's see, my good one here, which was good, went bad a few weeks ago, so
dang,
I understood it. Yeah, so the main PC that I was using started, the CPU started throttling, and I could not play. I haven't been able to stream in a few weeks, and I really feel it now.
I just thought you was busy. I didn't realize you were good when it went out.
No, this is my first being on this podcast. Is the first time I've been on Twitch in nearly a month. Wow. So
can't wait to start playing games again, especially with community nights and other stuff.
I was gonna say, being gone, like one of the things I was really disappointed on, besides streaming, was I love that community night because it's so much dumb fun.
You did have a lot of fun on those, and we're still gonna have to. Now that you're back,
Yeah. Now that we're back, like guys, it's on. We're getting back to some community night.
I will do my best to see if I can join if I'm not zombie comatose.
I mean, look, you know, you have your priorities. I get it.
And I just remember talking about going through like history. Now I just remember like history of how I played games, the history of Halo,
right?
And the history of when I finally realized I'm a weeaboo. And I know where it started. I know exactly where it started in my life. It wasn't with Final Fantasy VII. It wasn't with Final Fantasy games. It wasn't even from anime, because I would like anime and I would watch shows, but I never shows. No.
Just that sentence you said. Like
the history of when I realized I was a weeaboo. How's that for a title?
I was about to say, I think that's a title. Like
history being a weeb. And I'll tell you, it wasn't the Final Fantasy, it wasn't actually it was a JRPG, a specific one. It wasn't anime in general. Was that on Xbox 360, someone really close to mine, he told me about this game that was super cool, and it was called Record of Agarest War. So I went down to GameStop. I had finished hustling more Yu-Gi-Oh cards and other things to make money, and I bought the only edition they have was like the collector's edition, and it was only like $80. And they had two of them. It came with a game disc. It came with an art book, a CD, and it also came with a pillowcase of one of the girls. Oh, and a booby mouse pad. And so I was like, well, it's the only copy of the game, and I was like, I love this pillow. Oh my god, this mouse pad is great. Yeah, it had the great Dakimakura cover, and it had
such great wrist support. You don't understand, guys.
It does have great good wrist support. I'm not gonna go into this. But no, so I bought the game, and I was like, I love this game. I played it, and I got through maybe about 60% of the game, and then my disc broke. So I was very mad, but I had enough money. I go trading a few other things, and I go back into the store. Maybe this is after like a month. So a month later, I go in there. They have not received another copy, and they only had that one more collector's copy up there. So I'm like, I guess I'm getting 2 pillowcases, 2 mouse pads, and 2 everything else, and I'm buying this as a collector's. So I bought the collector's edition again to get the game. And I was just like, I sat down, I was finished the game, I turned around, there's the 2 body pillows, the 2 mouse pads, and I'm just like, this is my life now. I'm okay with this.
Well, time to go spend a lot of money on collector's editions and statues.
I'm not that bad because I've never been much of a collector, especially not like with statues. But when there's something that I want,
there's a but though that I'm waiting for.
Related, but if there's something anime related that I really want, I'll get it.
Speaking of
I'm not gonna say there's a body pillow behind me. There's not a Dakimakura behind me right now. Not putting that one on camera.
It's okay to have a Dakimakura of yourself, dude. It's okay.
Dude, I mean, come on. Anime me, it's great.
Cuddle yourself, it's beautiful.
But I did order the Final Fantasy VII remake, the first Soldier Edition, the one with the giant cloud statue and bike and everything. Like the $300 one. Yeah, no, I paid that off. That's like, I can't wait for that to come down there. Danzik needs the Otaku monthly box. I kind of do. And now I'm that guy who's just like, oh, hey, I just started watching anime. Do you have any recommendations? Here's the list. Let me start you with the Bible.
Yeah, it was weird. I was talking to another friend about this. Like, you know, I'm one of those people who I like anime a lot, but I wouldn't go out and say like I love anime because I watch it in cycles. I'll go like 3 months where I'm just nothing but watching anime. The rest of the year, you know, I'll watch other stuff. Then those 3 months, like, guess what, boys? The weeb's back. Let's go. No, exactly. And I got a feeling that's about to happen here because I'm compiling a list of what I need to watch now. So
there's too many good shows that have come out. Like one that I didn't expect because I like, you know, like Naruto and I like the action. But I also like slice of life romance comedy stuff.
Oh yes. I agree.
And the one that I watched this season that I recommend people watching is oh god, hang on, let me get the name of it. It's I fell in love and tried to prove it with science.
What?
Science fell in love, so I tried to prove it, is the name of it. That's what it's called. And it's shortened name is Rikiko or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's basically two college science students. They're graduates, they're working on their like masters and their theses and everything. One of them, they fall in love with each other, but they're so hardcore scientific that they're like, the girl's like, I think I love you. Well, how do you know that? How can you prove that you love me? What is the quantifiable idea of love? And so they start running like actual huge tests and start breaking down scientifically. All right, why is my heart rate spiking here? Because this is the thing. What is the oxytocin level increase in this event? What is the ultimate creation of ambiance for the perfect kiss? You have to be silent. You can't be anything louder than 20 decibels. The sunlight has to be in a specific thing. For kissing, you have to be at a 30-degree angle doing this for the like they're doing. It's so stupidly asinine, but it's so hilarious and it's so well made, and you just can't stop watching.
I'm baffled right now listening to this
because like the girl is kind of like cute and ditzy and just like she doesn't have much like common sense. She does have like incredible mind, and the dude's just a dick. He's just like, he's got the angry eyes, the angry glare, and he's just like, I told you to stop being emotional. This is all about science. You must.
How many times does he push up his glasses with glare?
Plenty of times. So many. It's like half of it.
Yes.
Like, do not act out of emotion. Do not act without supposition. And I was just like, oh my god. And like one of the big scenes, like she's crying and breaking down. She's like, I really wish we could just kind of be here on this bridge to see the sunrise together. And he's like, you idiot. You really made me run out all the way here. Why are you being emotional? Why are you deciding this crap? This is crap. It's like, come on, man.
Oh, no.
There's so many good shows. Is this Sonic? I'm gonna jump off this anime train before it gets too more in depth. But
I don't think there is a jumping off the anime train.
Not for me, but I will park it in station for a while.
Just in station, interesting.
Save that for another podcast.
And when we get Asian Anime Dude on to help you out with that topic.
Dude,
I was about to say this one. I'm like I'm the person who stops by the train station here and there. You know.
If you want to do an anime podcast together, just hit me up, man. We can get this going pretty quick.
That's fine.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
See, no, Asian was okay. So the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, Asian Anime Dude was kind enough to go with watch it together. Anime Awards. And he can tell you without us going into detail what some things were said that if anyone drags up the VOD and uses it against me, oh,
no. Oh, I know what I'm doing after this.
I think it's still available on my channel, but if you want to go watch that at the end is when I said a line that I cannot. If you said it in public, you would be ostracized.
So what you're saying is I need a new follow notification.
Please no.
Oh no. This was a mistake.
As soon as it left my mouth, I realized I made a terrible judgment.
Just I made a lapse in judgment.
I die on the hill of the statement that I made, but I really should never have said the statement out loud.
You would like to reword what you said, but the sentiment is there.
No, I can't reword it.
Oh no.
I should just never have said it.
Oh, this is just it's too perfect.
Trying to save myself. Kaguya-sama season 2 is coming out. Yay!
That could totally not be a real thing, and I would just nod.
Oh, it's a real thing. That was literally one of my favorite shows and still one of the favorite manga that I read from here. It's called Kaguya-sama Love is War, and much like the science one, it's not about them like trying to disprove love. It's what happens when two tsunderes try love each other and don't know how to confess to one another. And it literally goes from, I wouldn't mind if she confessed to me though, but I'm not going to confess to her. And I'm like, if he confesses to me, that's fine, but I'm not going to confess to him. And then it goes into, I'm going to make him confess to me. I'm going to win. This is my win. And it's just like psychological. It's like Death Note level psychological warfare trying to confess to one another.
You know, there's moments when I'm like, should I get back into anime? And I hear this, and I'm like,
You should. Yes.
I think I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for this. Yes. Like, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. Yes, you should. You should do it.
Yes, you should. I feel pressured here, but no, I will. I have a list I am working on right now of what I'm going to be binging through.
Just be careful when you put a list together. It ends up being a black hole.
I mean, it's on a list of like, because like, you know, I don't watch a lot of anime, but I watch a lot of movies. Period. Right. So like, I'm like, I gotta find some time here because I've got. Well, actually, no, I have plenty of time now because the movie theater's closed. So
it's
great. Yeah. What's funny is I went to the theater the day before they closed it, and I had this experience where I sat down for a movie, you know, and I'm a stickler for when I pick my seat, right? You pick your seat, you reserve it. And I sat down, and people, they left like one chair in between us, but like the entire theater was in one row. And when I looked at the map, we were all split up. So I'm like, why is everyone sitting on this row? And this is right as the COVID stuff is starting, right?
Right.
And I just started coughing. Just coughing. And I was just getting over a bit of a cold, right?
Right.
And I'm coughing like a madman. And suddenly the people around me all cleared out and all went to different rows. And for a moment, I was like, I have found my superpower. I can finally get this whole row to myself. And then the next day, they're like, by the way, actually, we're going to close this down. Because the last thing I went to go see was the movie The Hunt right before all this happened. And man, I had tickets for an early screening for A Quiet Place Part 2. I was excited. And then they canceled it because they pushed it back to the end of the year.
Ah, I'm just looking so forward to that movie.
Again, I had a ticket for like the early screening. I was like, here we go. I get to finally see this thing. Here we are. And then they're like, by the way, we've refunded you your money. I'm like, come on.
The last movie that I saw in theaters was Sonic the Hedgehog, which I am so happy with that movie. That movie was so good. Like, it was great.
I will go back to my app because I have an app that keeps track of what I've watched. Let's see. What did I think of Sonic? Oh yeah, I thought it was all right. I gave it like a 6 out of 10, and that's not bad at all.
Not at all, especially for a video game movie with how those usually end up going.
It's more the fact that like going into that movie, I'm going, okay, it's, you know, going into it, set my expectations correct. It's a kid's movie. I want to have some fun. I like Sonic. I didn't expect to walk out and say, I forgot how good Jim Carrey was. Dude, that dude's awesome, man. Like,
I got to see the movie.
You need to see it for sure. That and Detective Pikachu were both really good video game movies.
Yeah, I like Detective Pikachu. Awesome. That was good.
Yeah. I mean, okay, I love Detective Pikachu until the very end when they're adding a big villain twist. I was just like, okay, we could have done without.
Are you really going to put Bill Nighy in a movie and not have him turn out to be the bad guy?
No, I expected him to be a bad guy, but it's like, I'm going to put on this headset and become mute to infuse Pokemon and human together. Like, okay, now you're reaching. Hold up.
Even you, the Pokemon fan, you're like, wait, hold on.
Just like, now you're it's because I'm a Pokemon fan. I was just like,
yep.
All right.
Yep.
Let's tone it back now.
You had me and then you lost me. Like, I don't know, like Sonic going into it, I did expect, not like I walked in expecting to hate it, but I was like, this why does this exist? This movie has to prove to me why does it need to exist right now? And I walked out, I was like, that was actually fun. Like, I don't know if I'd say it's an amazing film, but I walked out with a smile. Like, that was good.
I mean, it's not gonna win an award for anything, but it was super fun. And it did extremely well in box office. And I mean, it did well enough to completely drown out Birds of Prey.
Yeah, and like, I also liked Birds of Prey a lot too. I was like,
I haven't seen that. I need to still see that because I liked Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad. I liked the actress. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. I liked the character and how she portrayed it, and I want to see it.
I'm not gonna be that guy, but it's Margot Robbie.
That's it, Margot Robbie. Thank you. No, thank you for telling me. No, I like her. I liked her as Harley. I wanted to see the movie, and then I was just like, I want to watch Sonic the Hedgehog because my friends are going, and we're just gonna go see it. Oh yeah, my friend was out of town, and that was the whole plan. Was we were gonna go see it together. So my friends came out of town, and my girlfriend and I went with them, and we all went and saw it, and it was great, and we just enjoyed. Like, we had more fun at the Sonic movie than we thought we were. And I was just like, and then I was like the other day, I'm like, wasn't there supposed to be a Birds of Prey movie? Because I watched Margot Robbie and the Sirens or whatever. They were doing a Hot Ones interview.
Yes.
I was like, oh yeah. And then I looked at the reviews and it was like Sonic the Hedgehog completely overshadowed Birds of Prey. And I'm like, oh, yeah. That makes me sad.
Yeah, Birds of Prey was like, I had a great time with that movie. I have a lot of nitpicks as someone who watches a lot of movies. It's stuff that, like, it's a lot of things for me of, like, there's a lot of pacing issues and things like that I have with it. But it's the movie equivalent of a girls' night out, you know? Like, did they do anything crazy? Not really, but it was a ton of fun, man. Like, and there's just there were some serious nods of, like, I think this is really cool, and that this has its own style to it that I really do appreciate. And then Sonic was like, hold up. About that.
Yeah.
I'm going to release on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, right?
Happy Valentine's Day. Here's Sonic.
And at the end, they with the, hey, we're going to have another. Here's Tails.
Yeah, I was like, oh, but then I heard the voice. I was like, oh, that's cool.
I think it's gonna be pretty hype for Tails.
I think that movie could be cool.
And then my friends asked me, it was like, why was Tails there? What's all the questions? Oh, look in depth about Sonic lore because I know like a lot of different kind of video game lore. I was like,
all right, time to go down the Sonic lore. Have you read the comics? Don't worry.
I haven't read the comics myself. I've watched overviews of all the recaps of the stories and everything, and I know all about the races. I played all the games, blah 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 blah. I'm just like, I'm a lore junkie.
Oh no.
That was a fun time.
It's sad that I see enough movies that I'm having to use an app to remember what I saw. This is my life right now.
Dude, yeah, keep it organized. So you just have all your thoughts. Like,
I'm just like, okay, what did I see and when did I see it? Like, okay.
I haven't been sitting on watching. I didn't go out and purchase Final Fantasy VII Advent Children Complete on watch repeatedly until April 10th. What are you talking about?
You know, I've always heard, you'll hear people you've heard stories of people who do like the drunk Amazon shopping. They're like, oh boy, what did I order while I was drunk on Amazon? And, you know, I had my first ever experience with that. You know, I've heard people, I bought flamingos, you know, off my lawn, you know, kind of thing, or buy weird stuff. I truly knew who I was when one day I get an Amazon package. I'm like, I remember ordering this. Oh wait, I was drunk when I ordered this. What did I order? Open it up. It was a Blu-ray copy of Willow. Like, the fact that my brain was like, you know what? You need to own Willow on Blu-ray. And I'm like, I do. I need to own Willow on Blu-ray. I was like, this is my life now.
I didn't miss on drunk Amazon shopping. So
oh no!
The kind of person I am.
Okay, actually, I have to ask this for a poll. Do you own more than one?
Yes.
Okay, because there's my scientific study has proven that you either own no swords or you own multiple swords.
I have a steel replica of the Master that I've sharpened. I have I've sharpened. I have this one, which is a blue katana. I have a machete. I have multiple knives of all different kinds. I've got brass knuckle knives. I've got hunting knives, serrated knives.
Good lord!
I grew up in martial arts and training with physical weapons. I've got nunchucks. I've got battle staffs. I got a lot of different weapons, and I only have one handgun. And the handgun is because I used to be a delivery driver. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I think you need one if you're a delivery driver.
100%.
So I will say I had a knife collection growing up. So I actually grew up. So you know the knives that come in the wooden boxes that open up and it has like a picture, like almost like a postcard type thing on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to collect those. I had 3 katanas. What else did I have? I had a replica Sting from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Not one of the official ones because that was like I was like 15 and that was way too expensive. For a 15-year-old. So I got just a replica that was not very good condition. But yeah, I got a bunch of things like that. So I've just kind of built up a collection of knives and swords over the years. And then at one point, I had 8 guns. Something like that. Not anymore.
Yeehaw.
I was about to say, okay.
I mean, I grew up in
Wow.
rural Alabama.
I was gonna say, I have only been an Alabamian for about 3, just over 3-ish years here.
No,
I'm proud to say I own one.
entire life. 20 plus years of that in rural Alabama. So
I'm not looking up the cost of Cloud's Buster Sword right now.
Oh no.
You are.
is that a lot?
$250. Oh,
Stop it.
$400
Stop it.
price for
Bad.
sword.
No.
$150 for Sephiroth Masamune.
No. It's a gateway drug.
I mean,
They'll
I
probably
want a
cut you a
Buster
deal if you
Sword.
bought both of them. You're not buying both. Stop it. I saw that look.
You got me now pricing stuff.
Oh no.
For $90, I can get a foam one with an inner core. So
Nope.
Ooh, a replica energy sword from Halo.
oh yeah, I need to get one of those too. Stop it.
What if we? Oh no.
$70.
Worth.
Yep.
Oh, dude, I remember walking through the Madison.
I'm just gonna look at my PC parts and sob here for a minute. I'm just gonna.
I remember
man.
walking through the Madison Square Mall when it was still open, and FYE, and they had a replica of a Lancer from, and I was just like, oh, I want this thing.
Did everyone's mall? Obviously, I'll keep saying it. I'm not from Alabama. I'm originally from South Chicago. So, did everyone have the mall that had? It wasn't the or the sword store that scared you. It was the man who ran it. That was like, why did he always have a tank shirt on?
I will say
Or
that
he had that shirt that was like the wolf, and it had the pattern on the side and everything. Like the 3 wolf moon.
That's the sad thing. Madison Square Mall didn't have it, but the Parkway Place Mall in Huntsville absolutely has that guy.
I was about to say, because I feel like everyone had that guy.
Oh, and so I would go to him for a lot of my weapon replicas and things like that. And when I bought knives, like pocket knives, and I've gotten when my friend went off to the military, my friends were heading off to the military together. I got us a set of knives. They're They're like the snap pocket knives. When you pull like the thing, it pops out. But they were like black. It was carbon, and they had like a picture of like a scorpion, like a holographic scorpion on it, and they were different colors: blue, red, yellow, green. And I bought them for us, so we each took a knife with us, just kind of like as a going away. And for my grandfather, when he was still alive, one of his birthday, he always used like a very thin wooden, like Swiss Army kind of pocket knife.
Right.
And it was actually one of the blades had broken. It was starting to get like wear down. It was dull. So I went and got him like another wooden yellow one with like his name inscribed on it from that same shop.
Huh.
So like knives and weapons have always been like very big in my life.
I think that's really cool, actually. Like that's much more impressive than what my grandfather is going to leave for me, which was he goes, "Hey, I'm going to leave you my hard drive," because every picture that he posts on Facebook, he saves it to a 2 terabyte drive.
Jesus.
And he's like, "I'm going to leave you my hard drive," and I'm like, "Yeah, my $60 Seagate drive, let's go."
And that's when you find out.
And he's like, "Oh, and a handgun." I'm like, "Okay."
So you plug in the hard drive and you comb through tens of thousands of pictures, one file with like, follow this treasure map to my secret $1 million, my child.
That's the best case scenario. You don't understand.
Battery is a zip file full of porn. So I mean, it's dealer's choice.
Look, it's gonna be that and a lot of Facebook memes.
And that's pretty good.
And I'm just like, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for a lot of political memes to scroll through and be like, oh.
So can I just say,
Grandpa, why?
Getting us back onto the swords real quick. I found a keyblade for $60.
Oh yeah, for Valentine's Day last year, my friend got me a key. It wasn't like an actual blade.
All right, everyone, welcome to the sword cast. Here we're going to talk about swords and sword accessories.
Oh, he just got up.
I'm your host. I do not own a sword, so he got up now, and I'm deeply afraid.
Oh, because I brought the keyblade.
I just realized this, by the way. This is the second time we've all been together on a podcast. So yeah. I was looking back. I was like, I feel like we've done this before.
Yeah, we have. I think this is only the second one I've been on with you before.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think let's see. So guys, if you didn't know, plug. If you go to the YouTube channel,
hey, I
have a YouTube channel, guys. Seriously, go check out the Hobo Slayer's YouTube channel, because I'm looking at it to find podcasts. He's back. Oh, no.
Join the Hobo Slayer's Discords, where you can catch up with us on streams.
Yes, guys. You know,
hey,
I don't know if it's a mid-ad break. There we go, guys. Yeah, the YouTube channel. You can actually find previous podcasts, including, let's see. Yeah, we were all on together for episode 5.
Yep, 1 through 7's uploaded. I've got to upload 8 and 9 tonight.
Let's see. So this is
8 is supposed to release
my 4th appearance now, I think.
Sounds about right.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is number 4, I guess. Oh, dude!
Valentine's Day, yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
The actual, just the chain.
I forgot about that.
Okay, so
man,
you laugh. I didn't. You know, universe is a fun way of catching up with you here. So, on the first episode, I talked about we talked about Green Screen Man. So I've been away from streaming for a bit, and I was like, man, I should go back. I can't wait to get back to it once this PC's up and running. And I got a coupon from Amazon, and they were like, hey, bud, you spend $30, we'll take off 15 for you. So I'm currently in the process of buying a green screen suit. I can tell you that much.
Oh, that's great.
I'm afraid. I'm very afraid. As should you.
Here comes the
Asian decided now.
Yes.
So this is I bought this in Texas when I was on the zombie killer hunting knife. I do keep all of these sharpened because I'm an avid.
I just sharpen them because I'm a fan. That's all.
And I got brass knuckles here. So those are always fun. This I actually got in Texas as well. There was a comic anime game shop that they were some stupid kid came and was like, I want to play with the swords, and then he couldn't get the master sword to go back into the scabbard here, so he slammed it on the ground, and there's this long crack down here in the wood of the casing. So he sold to me for like $25 off. I was like, I'll take that.
Oh wow.
Because the other one looks fine, and this whole blade, so like I have to actually struggle to open it. But
I'd say that boy has been missing for several years now. Actually,
I would have killed him. You damaged like expensive property, and then yeah, here's the sword.
Okay, those are just cool now. I'm like, dang it! Don't turn me into a sword guy.
Why not?
Right, seriously fun.
I'm not doing it. Let's see.
And everywhere I go, I always have one of my knives. Just because you never know what's going to happen.
Oh no. Speaking of never knowing what's happening, if you want to know what's happening, guys, we also have a Discord.
Yep.
If you want to find out that we're doing a podcast, or even you want to join that game night that we were talking about earlier, because yes, game night is back because I'm alive somehow. So,
woo!
There it is, guys. Community. Seriously, guys, jump into that. I'm hoping for Tuesday. I gotta look at my work schedule, and we'll come up with some fun stuff. But community night and get in the Discord. It's pretty neat. It was fun to read the Discord while not having a PC and just reading it off my phone. Standing on the outside, much like the Phantom, going soon. Soon I shall make my appearance.
Dude, we are glad to have you back, though.
I am glad to be alive, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, you're healthy.
It's not like anything terrible happened either. It's just because, motherboards are terrible.
Things happen in transit for tech parts. It's just the thing that happens.
Who'd have thunk it?
Have you seen those videos of UPS workers and US postal services that people are just boxes times?
Yep. My motherboard was apparently dead on arrival when I built this PC. Had to buy another.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Mine too.
Okay, I'm glad hearing this makes me happy because again, I'm on motherboard 3.
Yeah, dude, you're not alone on this issue. It just happens.
Because I was looking at it man, it's been a long time since I built a PC. So this was kind of like a first time all over again. And I was just like, I hate this. I genuinely kind of hate this. And then when it finally worked, I don't think I've ever shrieked louder. Yes! It worked! I've created new life.
And played Siege on it.
Yeah, no, and then I'm like, cool, now I can play the game I've been playing for 3.5 years,
Doom Eternal sounds fun, but I have Siege.
It was funny because Doom was my most, and still is, it was my most anticipated game of this year because again, Doom is one of those series that's near and dear to my heart. And then having it come out and for me to just sit there and be like, this is cool. I guess I'll play Animal Crossing. So Animal Crossing was my coping game.
Dude, I beat the horse dead on Animal Crossing. I sent a picture on Facebook. It was like, copy of Doom Eternal looks weird. It's a picture of Animal.
Yeah, you post that and I was like, laugh it up.
I'm original.
I'm sitting there going, laugh it up, Fuzzball.
And then I named my stream Doom Friendly Island Adventure or something like that.
It was amazing though, again, as someone who was, a Doom fan, watching those two communities interact is so wholesome.
It's super wholesome. All the animations I've seen of Isabel in a hellscape just being cute and then murdering things. Ow.
It's just, those communities are so pure. I need that right now. I need something happy. Like Doom. Let's see. My last build I had in RMA. Yes, it's good to know that I felt really frustrated. I'm like, I'm building this computer And then like my backup one stopped working. So I'm just stuck here like waiting for parts all the time. I'm like, come on. And then I got it working yesterday and I was like, yeah, I'll be on the podcast. Let's do this. I totally have everything set up just fine.
Nothing will go wrong.
You never know what you're gonna get as well when it comes to streaming, because like they had that. I think I even posted it in Discord. Like they had that update to OBS, and I was worried because it's like, oh crap, they're removing the encoder I'm using like for everything. And then updated, and it's like, oh, it's still there.
We're kidding, by the way. We're actually we're totally fine, guys.
Yeah, because yeah, that made me panic because I have a 1070, so I don't have, so the old NV encoder is like the best one for me. And like the release notes was like, oh yeah, we removed the old NV encoder because it was causing confusion. It's like, but that works best for a lot of people.
Right.
At least you can get your NVIC encoder working.
Like I said, the old one, I can't get the new one working. It overloads my GPU.
Older new one, it just refuses to work for me. But that'll be an argument with this week.
Gotcha.
Oh no.
Luckily, I don't have to run the stream and everything on my motherboard, Persona 5 and Final Fantasy 7 Remake, because it's on console. So, lucky for me, that'll be fine.
Let's see.
So, here's another big question with all the quarantine on. How are you guys passing the day?
Work.
That's actually funny because I was about to say the same thing. I'm working. I'm just working.
Yeah, I mean, all three of us are working, so like our jobs haven't. Welcome to being an essential worker. If only our paychecks agreed.
Essential. I will. Trying to think like myself. I work retail, so I am facing it every day.
Yeah, you're in a line of fire.
Boy, howdy, man. You know, being on a check lane, you know, you're working with folks, and I'm not normally. I work in electronics. You know, surprise, I'm the electronics guy. But they had me in the check lanes today before I got here on this podcast. And, you know, all the normal stuff that comes along, like being on an express lane and someone comes up with 20 items, even though it says 10. Or they break a $3 transaction with $100. Also happens today. I'm just going to explain this. This is one of my favorite things I've seen every day. I'll come into work and right next to where we have like, you know, shopping carts, or as you would call them, buggies for some god-awful reason. We have a cleaning spray and like a wipe, right? So you can clean, you can spray your little cart, wipe it off, and push it along. I'm on break one day and I walk past and I see someone picks up the bottle and they look at it and they're looking at the bottle and they look at their hand and they just spray their hand and wipe it down, and they flip the bottle and they spray it on the other hand, and then they walk away. It's one thing to see that happen once, but then to see it happen multiple times in a day. People are spraying their hands with just a cleaner that we have for like the shopping cart, right? You can wipe off the handle.
Oh my God.
I've seen some fun things, man. I've
seen a lady break down and cry in a Kroger in the TP aisle.
I've had very elderly women shouting at me about toilet paper. And I'm just like, but I don't know. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but I'm like, why?
If it were me, I would have one roll of toilet paper like clipped to my belt, and every time someone complains, pretend to dab away some tears.
It's just, besides dealing with that, now that my PC's up, I can actually like do stuff now. Because before I've just been watching a lot of TV, My roommate and I have been marathoning through Battlestar Galactica because I've never seen it and he sure has.
I haven't seen it either,
I
so
haven't either.
It's amazing. It's so good. And then I was like, Animal Crossing finally came out. I can finally give it a try. And now I owe Tom Nook a lot of money.
I've never seen Battlestar Galactica. I've never seen any of the Star Trek.
What?
And I just it wasn't something that I watched growing up.
I didn't watch it growing up. I watched it like 2 or 3 years ago.
Exactly. And my girlfriend was like, you're going to sit down and watch this. And I'm like, okay, find time in your busy schedule for us to sit down and watch this then. And I'm just like, I'm not going to sit here and watch it on my own because I have no interest.
She's like, but you need to know about Picard's flute. Like, you don't understand. Like,
but man, I know.
Of all things you could have brought up, you brought the flute.
Look, I think about that.
I prefer Picard over Kirk for what extremely little that I know. Tribbles are a death sentence.
Yeah.
And that's the extent of the oh wait, no. Giant intergalactic space jellyfish that bang.
Yeah.
That's all I know. That's the extent of my Star Trek knowledge.
I'll give you, since we're on the topic, I say of nerd confessions here. Going to anime, I have tried to get into Dragon Ball Z, and just Dragon Ball in general.
Oh man!
Through every form it has come through, and I've genuinely I can't get into it. So there was this moment when Fighters came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are there 8 different Gokus?
Bro, you don't understand. Every episode's a different form.
Because, like, that game is the first thing in that whole series that I was like, dude, this game rules. And, like, then again, I was texting my friend, like, so why are there 8 different Gokus? And why do I need to care?
So, like, I've watched all Dragon Ball Z, GT, and all of Super. Like, I'm caught up. I don't read the manga. And I like it, but it's also one of those things where, like, I'm not the most hype as I was a kid. I was a kid doing Kamehameha Wave crap.
Right.
But it's a fun show. It's about fight. It's all fight scenes and action. It's all.
Right. And it's one of those things like,
Nixon.
You know, actually, no, there is one other thing with, you know, the few things you know about Dragon Ball. There's a lot of Gokus. That driver's license episode made me laugh so hard. And why is Mr. Satan not in Dragon Ball Fighters? I need to know.
There'll be DLC eventually.
Look, I have to believe that because Mr. Satan is everything to me. He is just a wrestling champion.
This is why me and Asian Anime Dude are like so in sync. When Dragon Ball was big, I was watching Ranma. That was me because Ranma 1/2 is.
Sure, I don't know.
Brief synopsis of Ranma 1/2. There are these ancient Chinese pools where if an animal or something there, you accidentally fall in this. You will, if you are touched by water, it will turn you into that thing. And so, there's no way to just really describe it. In that way, it sounds normal. But in like, you know, it's kind of romantic. It's comedy based, things like that. The main character is a boy who fell in and into a pit where a girl had died. So now he turns into a girl. And his dad turns into a panda and his rival turns into a pig.
So I love terrible vague pitches for things because I will totally check it out because of that. I had a friend very much suggest to me the way he described Evangelion to me before I'd seen it. Let me tell you word for word what he told me here. He looks at me, and I think we were in an English class. He leans over and goes, "Yo, so the entire world got turned to orange juice." And yes. And I was like, what? He's like, yo, you gotta check this out. And it was multiple times where I'm watching this, like, am I watching the right series? And then I got to the end and I was like, oh, wait a sec. Now, granted, yes, I have seen Evangelion since. I've watched it multiple times. It is a series I do love. But having it pitched to me as, yo, everyone got turned into orange juice.
Yeah, Asian puts a good point. You should tell Amy that, like, hey, I've heard of this show called Evangelion. And just
you know, look, I like being a part of the Hobo Slayers. I like... I like this. I like being on this podcast very much.
How about you? Do you have any nerd confessions, Pallas?
I was about to say. Hold on, I want to read something that Kevin's saying here while you can think of this. Next thing you're going to say is that you haven't seen Stargate Sg1.
That is what I was thinking. I couldn't think of the name. I have not seen.
I've seen bits and pieces of it. There's a lot of shows like that I haven't seen, to be honest.
So Kevin, we're here to disappoint you. I've seen a little bit. So
I've seen Star Wars.
That's something.
There we go.
I've seen Star Trek. I've seen Star Wars. I've seen Dragon Ball Z. I'm caught up. Only thing I haven't seen was GT. I watched like 1 or 2 episodes of it and was just like, not for me. Because I grew up on Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. I only got into Star Trek like 4 years ago or so. Beyond that, it wasn't much. I mean, of course, like Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh, things like that. I got into all that.
Right.
Yeah, I grew up on the anime side of entertainment and cartoon side of entertainment. I didn't grow. Okay, again, that's a lie. I either watched cartoons or I watched things like Law and Order and CSI or NCIS.
Right.
Like that.
See, yeah, I grew up watching like, sounds dumb, like watching like Hogan's Heroes, right?
Or like The Nanny at like 11 o'clock at night on Nick at Night. It was still.
Yes.
Oh
no.
So I
hey, dude, Niles goes in.
So I will say my reason
I just can't
was
stand French Rush. So
I will say I have a reason I didn't get into a lot of those. It was the fact that I grew up with the older generation. I was the youngest in my family, so me and my sister are 11 years apart. All my cousins are around her age or older, and so people I was playing with and hanging out with were all older than me. So I was watching things they were, not necessarily the things that all my friends were watching.
Yeah, I
had to watch whatever everybody else had on the TV because I was the youngest. So I had no control over the TV.
Right. Yeah.
So behind the scenes, we were like, "What should we name this podcast?" And we're like, "Oh, hours completed for most hours played on podcasts." I think we should name this podcast to "The Hobo Slayers Tilt Everyone and Their Favorite Shows."
Your favorite show is bad, and you should feel bad. The podcast.
I mean,
gentlemen, I require that you binge SG1 and Atlantis ASAP. Okay, look, I've seen the movie. Don't get me wrong, folks. I'm a movie nerd. I haven't. Stargate.
I haven't.
It's a totally fine movie. And that's going to tilt everyone for saying it's just fine.
Gentlemen, I require that you'll be and then watch the Stargate movie. Dan, it just hurt me.
Reading that, I'm just like, I'm just gonna step out of this.
I mean, I haven't seen what I haven't seen, and I don't have a lot of time in my day to.
I try not to be that guy with movies because that's like I'm a movie person at the end of the day. So like being like, how come you didn't know who Margot Robbie is? Like that's stuff that I know.
Well, I knew who she is and know her name. I just couldn't remember the name off the top of my.
I just tried to be the guy like, how come you've never seen this one movie that I've definitely seen?
Oh, so we're doing that, huh?
You know, like, here's this obscure anime that I'm quite a fan of. Tip's hat, you know.
Yeah, why haven't you watched Ore no no Nai Sentokai Shigakaku in Love Theater?
Bless you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so there you go. Or I'm sorry, Nokame.
Yeah, no, so growing up, whenever I did get control of TV, I was more into like the Toonami or the Cartoon Network type stuff. So, Cow and Chicken, things like that.
Yeah, I would watch like Cartoon Network and things like that, and then like my grandparents, my granddad would watch old westerns, and then my grandmother and my mom would watch like NCIS and Law and Order.
Hey,
and
I
things
still
like
watch
that.
NCIS. That is a good show.
Yeah, I do too. I love that show. So like I didn't have that many options growing up. And so either I watched the westerns, which I just got tired of, or I rewatch NCIS episodes I've seen 1,000 times, or I go stay in my room and play video games. So
yeah, a lot of my stuff was like I didn't watch a lot of TV, but the stuff I did is the stuff that shaped my humor. For me, it was The Simpsons. For me, it was Mystery Science Theater.
Oh god, Mystery Science Theater.
So yeah, for me, I didn't have satellite in my bedroom for the longest. So if I want to watch TV, it was in the living room. Which during the week, my parents would have on NCIS or Law and Order or something like that. So for the longest, it was local TV, and it's like local TV's gonna have those shows anyway, so I can just watch those in my room anyways.
Right.
Because they're gonna have that stuff on living room. I'm just gonna watch it in my room since my room's gonna have those channels at least.
Right. It was funny for me because like it's one of those I watched a lot of movies that I definitely shouldn't have at my age. I definitely shouldn't have watched Alien around 8, but like it was weird being like, how come you guys have never seen Alien? They're like, our parents won't let us watch it. I'm like, but that movie rules, man. There's this cat. It's cool. There's this lady. There's an alien. It's pretty cool.
So let me ask this: what TV shows or movies have you watched recently?
Recently, also, Kevin, I'm gonna push up my glasses and be that guy. That's Aliens. It has an S. So.
And I'll also be that guy because I guess I'm on a roll for tilting the audience. I've never watched Gundam. Anyway, let's move on. TV shows we've watched.
Okay, so if you want to steal my punchline, I've also never seen anything Gundam.
Yes!
I have watched Gundam on Toonami back a long time ago. And like
I caught a few of those episodes.
And that was it.
Yeah, that was it.
Because I used to come into homeroom in 5th grade, and I would be the first one in the morning somehow, and I would sit down because I was always like the A/B honor roll student, and so I would sit down at the computer first, and the teacher would let me pull in the put on the computer the Gundam game on Cartoon Network's website. And thank you Arcane Geek for that raid with a party of 4.
Hey,
there we go.
Come on in.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We were just talking about TV shows and animes, movies, and like that we've watched recently.
And things we haven't seen and tilting the audience. Sniper, yes. I do want the knife back. I will be using that knife again pretty soon. Just give me a read.
Just wait.
Welcome to Tiltcast, guys. This is
Oh, just wait till I get to mine. You're gonna love it.
Go for
it. Danzig, go for it.
Yeah,
what have you watched recently?
I'll say, I guess, like show wise. So I had a minor medical thing happen. So I went and rewatched all of Star Wars: The Clone Wars to get ready for like the new season that came out, and I watched The Mandalorian. That's about as much TV as I've watched in like a year, other than anime shows.
Let's see.
Recap for everybody: we haven't watched Stargate.
And I haven't watched Star Trek, and I haven't watched Battlestar Galactica, Battlestar Galactica. Nick has seen a few episodes. I've never watched Gundam except a few episodes of Tsunami. I was a kid.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this now. So, okay, real quick, I'm going to correct this. I just finished season 2 of Battlestar like 2 nights ago. So I've seen at least half that series.
So you're getting educated. You're getting educated. Right. While me and Pallas are just like waving flags.
I'm over here playing Division 2 while y'all are doing that, or you're doing that. So
see, I haven't been able to stream or do anything with my PC, so I've gone very much down that rabbit hole.
Oh, I've
Yeah,
had 2 streams of Division 2. Everything else is just me playing.
Yeah, you didn't have a computer, a PC to play on, so you're watching. I had a procedure out. I was watching a show. But normally I don't go sit and watching TV shows anymore. I don't even have cable in my apartment.
Right.
I just have internet.
I'm here.
Yeah, Pallas, how would you like to tilt the audience?
So my recent shows is growing up I liked books, movies, things like that had to do with vampires, things like that.
Here you go, Pallas. I'm ready. Let's go.
What is that?
The knife.
Oh.
You're about to stick in their backs.
So I vampires, things like that. So I've actually been going through on Netflix Vampire Diaries.
Dude, totally.
Finished all of it. I'm halfway through the originals. I'm trying to get through it so I can start the what's the new one they got out now that's still going?
I have no idea. I never watched it.
So yeah, I been doing that. And then what else have I been watching? A little bit of Bull when roommates got on. And then from there it's just whatever I can play. I have NCIS and all that stuff coming where every week it comes up on Star Trek Picard. Been catching up on that.
Okay.
Other than that, it's just like whatever CW or CBS shows I can catch up on. A lot of the shows I've been watching the past few years have started like their final season's been happening the last couple seasons, so my shows are thinning down now.
I used to watch a lot of CW, and that's the case with those shows.
Well, I was watching CW, NBC, Fox, CBS, and all of them are paring down now to a point where it's like, okay, I'm getting down to like only one or two channels now, and even those are starting to pare down beyond that.
I haven't watched any of the new Arrowverse shows.
I'm behind on those. I stopped with last season on Supergirl. I just couldn't. The way they were going with the show, I just didn't get it, and it didn't really appeal to me. So I've watched the crossover this season. It seemed like things have picked up, so I need to go back and catch up on it from last season.
Yeah, I'm gonna go watch all the last season when it's all out, just so I can do that.
Well,
and
last season's out. It's this season that they're still airing. And I'm behind on this season because like the CW app only keeps like the past like 4 or 5 episodes, and I'm more than and I'm only 4 or 5 episodes behind. I'm more than that, so I gotta wait for releases back in the fall before I can watch them.
But anyways, I'm in the same game. But I will say, like CW, wise, I did keep up with. I've watched all of Supernatural.
I'm behind on that.
I watched.
That one's a good one. I'm sad it's the last season.
I stopped watching Supernatural after like season 10.
I mean, okay, so that's fine because really it should have ended at season 4. But you need to go watch the Scooby-Doo crossover episode.
No, so I will say I've jumped in for that episode and anything that had Felicia Day because her character is wonderful.
Yep, yes. I agree. After like around season 8, I think it just stopped.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Season 8 was when they introduced. Was that when they introduced the angels?
The angels were introduced pretty early on. Yeah, it was like they brought back Lucifer and then killed Lucifer. And now there's parallel worlds.
All right. I've been sitting here. I've been sitting here in the chat and reading this. I got a bone to pick here. Okay.
Okay,
so Kevin.
Gentlemen, an important question: who has or who has not seen Independence?
Yep, I have.
So I have absolutely seen Independence Day.
As have I. I've not seen the second one they put out because I was just like,
oh, let me tell you.
I didn't know there was a second one.
Let me tell you. Man. Independence Day is a favorite film of mine. I watch it every 4th of July. It's one of those just classics. It's one of the ones that I like to put on TV, even if it's halfway through, because I love watching part of it. And then they were doing a sequel. Now, look, guys, I follow movies very avidly. I follow production, pre-production, like everything that goes into it. I follow that avidly. since they talked about doing Independence Day 2, I was like, oh man, here we go. This is it. And they were like, guys, it's going to be called ID Forever. It's going to be a 2-part movie. Everyone's coming back. And I was like, that sounds terrible, but I'll go see it, of course. And then what we got was Independence Day Resurgence.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
It is so god awful. It's just... It's the original director, original writers, and it's one of the worst things I saw all year.
It just should never have been a sequel. The first movie, the original.
What
movie.
makes it worse is that there is... I don't believe a bad movie's bad because it's only bad. This one had the germ of a good idea that was so good that I was like, why was this the one scene? Like, it's just... And then they set up for sequels. They're like, by the way, in case this does well, we got like 6 more planned. Don't worry. I have such a hatred for that movie.
Ooh.
Ooh, it's burning. What have I seen recently? What have I seen that I liked? Let me see. Let me go to my film diary here. Anything new recently? I saw Spencer Confidential on Netflix. It's whatever. I was just kind of bored with it. I saw The Hunt while that was in theaters because I went to the theater for some reason. No, the most recent thing would be last night I watched Knives Out for the second time. If you haven't seen Knives Out, you seriously need to watch. Dude, watch FDR American Badass, Nazi Werewolves versus FDR. I have seen that movie.
That reminds me of those movies like Abraham Lincoln's Killer, whatever. Like
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Yes.
That was it. No, there was Vampire Hunter, and then there was like a B movie boot of
there
him
was
killing zombies.
Abraham Lincoln Zombie Hunter.
Yeah.
That's a specific company who makes movies like that, including FDR American Badass, which I have seen. These are the kind of people who make Transmorphers when Transformers comes out. It's a company called The Asylum. They gave us Sharknado.
Well,
all 6 of them.
In fact, you have to point out there's 6 Sharknado movies.
You know, it's worse to admit that you've seen all of them.
I know. And
that there's a cinematic universe for that now.
So I think we've learned a valuable lesson on this one, is that we together things we in different genres. Like I can put together an anime list. You can put together a movie list.
Right.
And then everyone else can put up TV lists and then tell us why we're stupid and why we're wrong for never watching it.
Oh, it's gonna be a bloodbath. I'm just...
So how long does it take before we become the Hobo Slayers channel becomes Hobo Slayer Reviews? And we just start reviewing everything.
What happens when the Tilt Cast gets a spin-off? And welcome to the Tilt Cast, where everything you like is wrong.
And you should feel bad.
Episode 1, Dragon Ball is mediocre at best.
All right, now.
There we go. Let's go. Let's get this going.
What's boiling?
The upside
now
down.
with gasoline, boys. Hobo Slayers, the upside down.
That reminds me, I haven't watched the last season of Stranger Things.
I haven't watched it at all.
It is very good. I would recommend it.
The 3rd season's good?
Yes. I very much like the 3rd season. I will preface it, though. I did like season 2, so...
I like season 2 as well.
I will have to report Nick for hate speech.
Whew. So, Pallas, I feel like we have gone over time.
You know what?
I mean, there really is no time. It's just whatever we want to talk about and how we want to talk about it for.
That's true.
So if you gentlemen want to agree to this, I'm going to wrap it up with a little story here.
Oh, boy.
And then I'd like all of us to plug everything.
Okay, I'm good with that.
So for those guys who don't know, I do serve in the National Guard. It's one of the things I do. while I was in AIT, which is where I was getting my job training for my specific job, there was this thing happening called Dragon Ball Super. And folks really like Dragon Ball Super, apparently.
Yeah.
I did. I liked it.
Every Saturday night, these people would go running up and down our hallways, screaming and jumping, talking about the new fight. Whatever it was. And I don't care. It was the very last day, gentlemen. 20 weeks of training, and I graduated. I packed my room. All my stuff is in the car. My parents are in the car waiting for me. And I said, I need to go up and do one thing before I go. I descend 5 sets of stairs to the top floor where I lived. I knocked on every single doorway in that hall. There was a lot of doors. All of them came out. I said, gentlemen, Dragon Ball Super is mediocre at best, and I took off sprinting. Thinking, who would be dumb enough to chase me, right? I'm not a fast guy. Who's dumb enough to chase me? I turn around to see 6 people. Just dead sprinting. I don't think I've ever ran so fast in my life. I ran down 5 sets of stairs, because I lived on the 5th floor. I go running out to the car where my parents are, and I literally did the Indiana Jones, start the car, start the car! And they're like, what? I'm like, start the car! So they start moving the car. The back door opens up. I like jump into the back seat. I'm like, go, go, go! I look down, there's 6 guys still running out the front door. Because I had to shout at them that Dragon Ball, and again, I don't mean that. But to them, I absolutely meant that. Nick, care to tell everyone how to handle this pandemic? Yeah, you know what? I feel like that's actually important, guys. Wash your hands. I'm just gonna leave it at that, guys. Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Don't pick your nose. Quit sucking on your thumbs and fingers. Dig in your ears. Just
okay. Let's not say something we can't take back.
I'm just gonna throw out and say this: Ultra Instinct Goku versus Kefla, the most hype fight of Dragon.
I like Mr. Satan. He's pretty cool.
He did save the world, you know.
You know, he's basically
Twice.
Hulk Hogan, and that's why I love him.
I like it when he starts doing up his chant and you hear an entire city kind of Satan, Satan, Satan. I'm like, haha, this is subverting.
I just
exactly CT. Only because that one part sold the entire fight. The Tony Hawk Kamehameha. There
what?
we go. I'll show you the 4-minute clip, Nick, and you'll understand why it was a little hype.
Okay.
We'll do that after the show, but yeah.
I was about to say, I think we should probably start wrapping. I love doing this, but I don't want to keep these nice folks who are watching us up too late.
Truth.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you both for joining me again tonight. Danzik, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on my channel at DanzikStreams on Twitch. Find me on Facebook, DanzikStreams, or again,
Oh, I misspelled your name.
I am DanzikStreams. You can find me at Twitch.tv/DanzikStreams.
Guys,
go.
DanzikStreams, I'm quite a fan of his.
Channel.
Every time I see a unknown Twitch channel, I'm like, okay, I spelled something wrong. Where did I mess up at?
Yep.
If you like variety content, JRPG content, and D&D, you can come to my Twitch channel and usually check out the VODs.
All right, Nick?
I'm going to go ahead and slip into this, guys. Kept you waiting, huh? But, guys, it's been about a month-ish without a stream. I'll be back streaming tomorrow. I like to say I'm a Siege streamer who streams a lot of other games. Besides Siege, but I do stream a lot of Rainbow Six. I don't know what I'll be playing, but I will be live tomorrow. We'll have some fun, because, guys, it's been a bit. I miss being here. I miss talking to these fine gentlemen. So, yeah, follow me at there, NikUncut on Twitch. I'm on Twitter. I'm on a lot of stuff. I don't want to take up too much stuff here. I want to hear about Mr. Pallas right now, actually.
All right. Let me get the command working here.
Also, if you want terrible segues, talk to me. I got you. Don't worry.
I am PallasStreams. Can be found at PallasStreams pretty much everywhere except YouTube, which has nothing on it right now. Working on that. Working on some Division 2 videos. Brian, lately Division 2 has been my main game. I'm a variety streamer, but I've been doing Division 2. It's weird. Not used to that. So I'm hoping to get in some other games here pretty soon, just to mix things up again. Probably a not so good game to play right now is the Plague Inc., but I'm probably gonna play it soon.
That's a good game.
That game is great. It's so good.
Oh man, it is good. I got a friend who I'll make this quick, but I got a friend who I was watching his channel the other day, and he was playing a game. And every person whenever he started a new round, whoever was chatting the most of the time was who he named the plague after.
Oh no.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, I'll be playing that soon, as well as a couple of other games I've recently got. I still owe one developer a stream for a game, so we'll see about that. But that's it from me. You can find me PallasStreams or Pallas pretty much everywhere. Last thing I want to plug, of course, is our YouTube channel.
Boom, do it.
Tomorrow night we do have a D&D campaign session right here on this channel. We'll be streaming it live at 7 p.m. Central Time. Our campaign videos get later uploaded to the YouTube, so be sure to check that out and subscribe. We're trying to hit our goal of 100 subs. And then last but not least is our Discord, where you can chat with all of us all throughout the week, even when we're not here on the podcast.
That is correct.
And it's not always Danzik and Nick with me. Sometimes I mean, lately it's always been me, but it could be anyone on the team really who's on here. So be sure to follow this channel if you haven't already. You never know who you're going to get. Like I said, tomorrow night is D&D campaign, which we will have Danzik, myself, Lumberjack Allen, Mortanis, our DM, Sniper 2010 in chat, and then we have a new player, Rofanek, who was in chat tonight. Did I leave anybody out?
Nope, that's the current players for our session. So we'll see y'all tomorrow.
You guys seriously need to watch this. I'm someone who's not playing, even though I would love to at some point. I love watching this. This is really funny. Like,
if you think our comments earlier burned you up, wait till you meet Vice.
Oh no! don't introduce them. Don't.
That is it, everybody. Let's see who we have online tonight for a raid. How about Siren of the Sea? She's doing Jackbox right now.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Jackbox games are fun.
So we're gonna raid her, and we will see you all tomorrow for D&D.
Ooh. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look. Okay, so real quick, I could totally see that fight up in the reflection of your poster.
Yep.
I was like, he's gonna send it to me.
Yep, I had to make sure it was the right one.